Hey, how's it going, guys? Um, Welcome back. I am actually, I told you guys last night that I might not be doing another video, but I got to tonight and I just had to do another one. I don't know if you guys have ever done something where it was really hard to do the first couple of steps, but once you did it, once you actually started jumping into things, it was just, you could not do it. That's kind of basically what this was, and just gonna do another video tonight. I was kind of scrambling a couple minutes late because I was putting some stuff together because I realized how bad I wanted to do a video, but I hadn't prepared any notes or anything. So just getting everything all put together for you guys. My topic tonight is dreaming for your life, because you've got to dream. I don't know if you guys have ever been told that very much. I don't know if you guys have been often told how much you need to dream. Okay, because growing up, you always hear it from your mom, especially. Hey, dream big. You can do anything you dream of. All this stuff. They say you can do anything, and it's huge. Dreaming it's something that's going to take you to the next level, honestly and truthfully. Because if you can't dream, you're stagnant. You really are stagnant. If you can't see a better day tomorrow, then that means the only thing that can happen is that tomorrow is going to get worse than it was today. That's why so many times you see people, they get caught in this rut and they just start going down this downward spiral because they stopped dreaming. They stopped seeing a better future. The moment you lose that vision, the moment you lose the sight for something to get better, the only way it can go is down. It's honestly and truthfully. We are never... I remember practicing football all the time in high school, and my coach would always say every day, he said, we're either getting better or we're losing ground. He said, there is no middle ground. We don't stay the same on any given day. He said, you are either making progress towards being a better team, or you are falling backwards and you're becoming worse than you were the day before. And that's what it is for us in our life. We're either looking forward to that better tomorrow, we're looking for how we can grow, how we can improve, the different things that we can do there, or we're regressing, we're falling back behind. And I want to go over the importance of a dream tonight. That's kind of a long intro, guys. I almost kind of started going into a lot of what I wanted to talk about. Just kind of got fired up on the dream. So a lot of times people nowadays, they'll say, hey, is a dream even possible? Okay, how many times do you wake up? Maybe you go into Facebook and you start scrolling through and all of a sudden you see this bad news event. Okay, you wake up, you turn on the news. I don't care what you're turning on. Fox News, CNN, MSNBC, you name one of the other, your local news station. Very first thing, the headline news, what they are selling to you is not fireman saves kitty cat from the tree. It's a great ending. Or local man retires 10 years before he planned because all of a sudden he found money that his parents had left for him. You don't hear all the good news. You don't hear, kid was failing in high school, but he changed everything around and now he graduated top of the class. You don't hear things like that because that's not what sells. And so if you were to watch the news, you were to look at everything going around in the world, it starts to bring you down. You start to look at it and you're like, oh my gosh, we're in this war, we're in that war, this political person is doing this political person is doing that. We're always pitted against each other. This natural disaster is coming, it's impending, it's doom, so much is going on, guys, and it's insane to see the level of negativity that's perpetuated by the news, and by ourselves at times. It's how many times do we see something negative, and what do? We're scrolling through our news feed on our phone. All of a sudden, we see something we don't agree with, or we see an article on something negative, and we're like, I gotta share that because it struck out to us. So I gotta share that, and we share it. So now what we're doing is we're helping perpetuate this downward spiral, this increased negativity that people are having trouble getting over, and it makes it difficult. People wake up and they start to think, they start to really believe that dreaming is lost. That dreaming is something that can't happen anymore. Tomorrow can't get better because of everything bad happening today. And if you feel that way, I'm sorry. I sincerely am sorry. But I want you to know that it's not lost. Everything is not lost. We're not stuck in this negativity pile of doo-doo. It's just, it's terrible what we often get, what we often see, what the world is perceived as at this time. You know, right now I want you guys to actually rewind. Okay? Rewind, go all the way back to when you were a kid. Think about maybe your kindergarten, first grade, second grade time. You know, there's always a big focus on, hey, what do you want to be when you grow up? What do you want to be when you grow up? And all of a sudden, maybe your teacher, okay, just imagine, put yourself in this situation. Your teacher says, hey guys, we're going to do a project. What we're going to do is you're going to come in, you're going to present on your career, what you want to do when you grow up, your dream. And so you're stoked, you go home, you know, you're up super late, you're researching, you know, first grade, so who knows, like maybe you want to be a paleontologist, maybe you want to be a doctor, whatever it is. Maybe in first grade you're thinking, I'm going to be the president. Whatever it is though, you're stoked. You're going to class, you're marching with confidence, you walk in there, chest all puffed out, you're just excited, you're like, man, I am going to have the coolest job ever, you know, and you walk into class, teacher says, all right, it's your turn, and you walk up there, you're so happy, you got this big smile on your face, you're just stoked, you start talking to everybody, telling them all about this job, and what you want to do when you grow up, all the things that you think you can achieve, and you finish up, and you're waiting for people to be like clapping, you know, about how cool it is. All of a sudden, the class bully in the back stands up, and he says, you can't do that. That's the dumbest idea I've ever heard. What are you even thinking? Who are you to think that you can do that? And you sit there and you're just like, oh, and everybody else in the class starts to join in. You know, the teacher says, okay, sit down. You know, but you're kind of heartbroken at this point because everybody was joining in. They're all, you know, you even hear it later on. Maybe you go to lunch, you go to recess, and the kids are like, haha, yeah, you won't be able to do what you want to do. I can do what I want to do, but you can't do what you want to do. And it starts at that age. You go home, you actually go home that evening, kind of down. You're really down. You go to your mom and you say, Mom, you know what? This is what happened at school. It's kind of upsetting me. And your mom says, oh, honey, don't worry. And she does it in the most innocent way possible. She says, don't worry. You know what? Sometimes some things aren't meant to happen. Sometimes we dream things that can't happen. Your mom says that out of love. She says that out of sincere desire to help you feel better, but to help you not get your hopes up so that you don't have that crash at some point when you don't accomplish your dream. And all of a sudden you're like, whoa, Mom doesn't even think that I can do my dream? Okay, now fast forward, you're in high school, you're playing basketball, you're killing it. I mean, you're out on the court, crossing people over, breaking ankles. You're, 5'9", but you're dunking all over everybody. You can dunk, then you back up to the three-point line, and you're shooting something crazy. You're going 40, 45%. There's games where you're like 60%, just unbelievable. You're amazing. Okay, you're in the locker room messing around with everybody, and you're like, oh man, this is so great. Can't wait to play college and everything. And everybody's, yeah, that's gonna be awesome. and you go out and your dad's there, and you're like, oh yeah, Dad, that was a great game. I'm stoked. I actually heard there were some college coaches out there in the stands. I can't wait to hear what offers I'm going to get, because I know I'm so good. I've been working on it for so long. Since I was 8 years old, I picked up the ball and it was just shooting on the outside court, and I've worked my whole life for this. And your dad, out of love, out of trying to look out for you, he says, hey son, don't forget to focus on your grades. Remember, only like less than 1% of all high school players ever really get to play in college. So don't get your hopes up. Don't get your hopes up. That's been the mantra your whole life. Back when you were a kid and you gave that presentation on your dream job, is don't get your hopes up. Sometimes dreams don't come true. And now, after all this hard work you put in for basketball, your dad says, hey, don't get your hopes up. You remember back when you were in middle school and you were thinking, oh, I'm going to go ask out this really cute girl. She's something else. Everybody in the school likes her. And you're like, I'm going to go ask her out. You even tell one of your best friends, and they're like, dude, she turned me down. Don't get your hopes up. Okay? So many times in life, you hear this, and it's just, don't get your hopes up. You go to class, maybe you are working on your grades, and you go to a teacher, you say, hey, you know what, I'm thinking, I want to go to MIT, I want to go to Harvard, I want to go to Stanford, I want to go to, fill in the blank, just pick a school that's, top notch, and you're talking about how bad you want to go there, and your teachers say, hey, that's great and all, but don't get your hopes up, because that's really hard to get into. You gotta have like straight A's, community service, all this stuff. You gotta be like Jesus, walking on water when you go into that school. Okay, they start telling you these things. They say, hey, don't get your hopes up. Your entire life, that's what you hear. And so you decide to settle. You decide to do what everybody else in life has done and settle. You say, maybe I can't. Maybe I wasn't meant to do that. Maybe my goals are crazy. I'm just too ambitious. I'm too out there. My head's in the clouds. I am a daydreamer. I focus too much on the future. I focus too much on wishes and what ifs.